But welcome, as I say, to our crib service. And the first thing, can anyone guess what the first thing we're going to do in this service, which we've been doing in our services right at the beginning for the last 4 weeks? Anyone have a guess? Shall I tell you? Do you know, Alan? What it might be? Shall I tell you? We've been lighting our Advent candles, haven't we? We've been counting down the weeks to Christmas. So I need a volunteer. Oh, first hand up. Come on then, Olivia. Can you tell me how many candles we're going to light? 4. That's right, nearly all the candles. Can you light everything except the white candle? You have to come through this way for us. Come in, Anne. Can anyone tell me, when will we light the big white candles? Anyone know? Tomorrow. And when does tomorrow begin, do you think?
12 o'clock.
From 12 o'clock, that's right. So we're actually going to light it in our service. We've got an 11:30 communion service. We're going to light it the last thing we do in that service. And then we'll light it again in our family service tomorrow morning. She's doing well here. Well done, Olivia. Thank you very much. Cheers. So, shall we just start with a little prayer before we begin then? Let's say a little prayer. Dear God, as we prepare for Christmas, please help us to remember the Christmas story today and really understand what it must have been like for all those people. So, are you ready for Christmas then? Yeah? Have you been doing lots of things to get ready? What sort of things have you been doing to get ready? Any ideas? Has anyone? What have you done, Finn?
Putting up a Christmas tree.
You've put a Christmas tree up. Anything else?
Hang your stockings.
Hang your stockings. Have you all got? You're going to get lots of things in your stocking, do you think? You hope so. Anything else people have been doing to get ready? Has anyone doing anything with food? Or have your mums been doing anything with food? Or dads even? Is the turkey ready for tomorrow? Maybe not. But there's lots of things we have to get ready for at Christmas, isn't it? And we are going to start our story with a young girl who had to get ready for something else. Can anyone tell me who that young girl might be called? Who our Christmas story begins with? Anna? Mary, that's right. This is a figure of Mary. Now, we're not sure how old Mary would have been, but anyone like to guess, do you think, how old she was? What do you think, Finn?
73.
73, that's very old. Slightly old to have a baby, probably, 73. What do you think, Sophie? 13 or 14, I think that's probably very close to what Mary was, because she was a very young girl. And people used to get married very young in those days. And so she was probably only about 13 or 14. Anyone nearly 30? Probably Finn's the oldest. How old are you, Finn?
11.
11. You've got a couple of years to go, so she's just a little bit older than that. And there she was in her house, probably minding her own business. She might have been sweeping the floor or washing up or maybe doing some needlework. And suddenly she was surprised. Can anyone tell me, how was she surprised? Let's see, anyone else? Do you know, Georgie? How was she surprised? An angel came, didn't she? An angel suddenly came into her house. And does anyone know what that angel was called?
Actually, no.
Sorry?
I don't know.
You don't know, Sophie? Gabriel, that's right. The angel Gabriel, who was a messenger from God, came right into Mary's house. Can you imagine what she must have felt? What would she have felt, do you think, when the angel came? Was that the sort of thing that happens every day? Has anyone ever had an angel in their house? She was probably really, really surprised, wasn't she? And the angel had a very strange message for Mary. What did the angel say to Mary? Let's say, try Sophie. She was going to have a baby. And she would have thought that was very strange, because she was a virgin. She'd never been married to anyone before. So she thought that was very strange, but the angel said it was God who was going to be the father. She was going to have a very special baby, God's son. So Mary had to get ready, didn't she then, to have this baby? What do you think she might have done to get ready to have a baby? Any ideas? What do people do when they're going to have a baby? What would they get ready, do you think? Any Any ideas, Sophie? Exactly. Baby stuff from the shop. What else might they be? Where would the babies sleep, do you think? On the floor?
Crib.
In a crib or a cot, that's right. So that Mary had to spend lots of time getting ready for this baby. But do you know what? Her plans got really disrupted because suddenly, when she was about to have the baby, Mary and Joseph found out they were going to have to travel to a little town to be counted. And they had to go to Joseph's hometown. Can anyone tell me what Joseph's hometown was called? Bethlehem, that's right. A little town near Jerusalem. And they had to travel to be counted because there's a big census. So instead of the baby being born in Nazareth, where they lived, they had to travel all the way to Bethlehem. So shall we have our first reading? Who's got reading 1 for us? It's Maggie. Do you want to just give us the first reading?
From here?
Just from there. Shout out so we can hear it on the camera there.
Okay, our first reading is from Luke 2, verses 1 to 5. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Quirinius was governor of Syria, and everyone went in his own time to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he belonged to the house and the line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting his child.
Thank you very much, Maggie. That's brilliant. So we're going to sing our first carol now, and just 2 verses, A Little Town of Bethlehem. That talks about the town where Mary and Joseph went to. So shall we stand up? And we'll Joseph had a long journey in front of them. It's about 60 miles from Nazareth to Bethlehem. That's probably about the same as going from our houses here and driving all the way to Omagh along the motorway. So it's quite a long way. But they didn't have any cars in those days, did they? So how do you think they got to Bethlehem? Heath? A donkey. They had a donkey. Wouldn't go quite as fast as a car, would it? Their donkey, probably. So, we talk about this every crib service. What do you think their donkey was called? We don't know, it's not in the Bible, but any ideas what their donkey might be called? Sophie? Donkey! A good suggestion. Heath?
Sid.
Sid? Great suggestion. We've got donkey and Sid. Any other names you think donkey might be called? What do you think, Katie? I'm not sure. Marlo, would you know? What would the donkey be called? No idea. Well, any ideas? Not sure? Well, we called him Donkey last year, I think, didn't we? I remember that. Should we call him Sid this year? Sid the donkey. We'll put him down there. There we go. So it would have taken probably 5 or 6 days on a donkey to get from Nazareth to Bethlehem. And of course Mary was really big. She was almost 9 months pregnant and she was ready to have a baby. So can you imagine how uncomfortable it would have been for Mary riding on a donkey, going up and down all the way to Bethlehem? So maybe sometimes she walked beside the donkey just to get a bit of a rest, and other times she would have ridden. But anyone know a song about a donkey that we could sing now? Any ideas? Any songs about a donkey? Shall I tell you? We're going to sing Little Donkey. Shall we stand and sing this song about the donkey then? So eventually then, Mary and Joseph arrived in Bethlehem. It had been a long journey. They were probably very, very tired. But it wasn't quiet Bethlehem. It was buzzing with life because there was lots and lots of people there who had all come to be counted. And you know what? They hadn't booked in advance. They hadn't booked anywhere to stay. So Mary and Joseph started knocking on doors of inns. But what did all the innkeepers say? So they think, no room. Inn after inn. Every single room was full. And eventually, they came to the last inn, and they knocked on the door, and again the innkeeper said, no room. But he saw how that Mary was very pregnant, and how upset they were, and he was a very kind innkeeper. So what did that kind innkeeper say? What did he say? What did the innkeeper say to Mary and Joseph? He said, come on, I've got a stable, he said. You can go and sleep in the stable. And here's the stable here. And it was probably quite cold. There wasn't any central heating. But it was somewhere that at least there was a roof over their head. And Mary and Joseph could sit in the stable. But they weren't alone in the stable. There was probably lots of animals in the stable. What animals do you think might have been in the stable, Heath? Sheep. Come and put some sheep in the stable for us, Heath. Anyone else want to put some sheep in? Sophie, come put some sheep in for us. Just put that one in if you can make him stand up. Save some sheep for people later in the story. Any other animals that might have been?
The donkey.
Sorry?
The donkey.
Another donkey, yeah, well, there could have been another donkey. We've got our own donkey, and we're going to have another. Do you want to put both donkeys in?
Sure.
There might have been a donkey there already, mightn't there? Anyone some room for the donkeys? Any other animals that might have been there, Georgie? A cow? There could have been a cow? I've actually got a cow, but I'm sure there was a cow there. We need to get married to knit a cow for us for next year, I think, don't we? What else is there? A lamb. There was probably a lamb. Yeah, we've got a little lamb here already, haven't we? Yeah. Darling? A pig. I'm sure there was a pig. So can you imagine all the noises that there would have been in that stable? All the animals. Shall we all make animal noises? Let's all think of an animal. Oink, oink. Come on.
Meow.
So it wasn't a quiet stable, was it? And do you know what? I bet there were some spiders in there as well. There was probably some cockroaches. It probably wasn't very nice, that stable, was it? But at least it was somewhere for Mary and Joseph to go. So shall we put Mary and Joseph in our stable? Who would like to do that? Would you like to do it, Marlo? Do you want to come and put Mary in there? Anyone else like to? Come on then, Rosanna. Would you like Mary or Joseph? And who wants to put Joseph in? Hannah, do you want to come put Joseph in for us? We'll make some room in our stable. There we go. So it's getting a bit more crowded now, isn't it? So Mary and Joseph were probably very, very grateful to be in the stable, weren't they? So they probably just settled down and they went to sleep in that stable, really tired after their journey. But in the middle of the night, what do you think happened? Any ideas? In the middle of the night?
The baby came.
The baby was born. It was very quiet. And suddenly there was a cry. But of course there wasn't any doctors. There weren't any midwives. So I wonder if Joseph had to deliver the baby. That'd be a bit scary for Joseph, wouldn't it? Or maybe the innkeeper's wife might have come and helped. So, shall we read about that, the baby being born? Who's got reading too? A little short reading. Anna, is it you? You going to read for us in a big voice?
The second reading from Luke chapter 2, verses 6 to 7. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn as a son. She wrapped him in cloth and placed him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
Fantastic. Thank you, Anna. So, Jesus was born. We're going to have to put baby Jesus in the manger. Do you want to do this for us, Anna? See that you read so nicely and put baby Jesus in the manger for us? He's very small, the baby Jesus. Can you see? There he is. He's in under the sheet. Lovely. Thank you very much. So, what are we getting for Christmas? Do you know what you're getting for Christmas, Olivia? A hoverboard. My word, can you bring it to church tomorrow? Can me and Carol have a go on it? That sounds very exciting. Anyone else know what they're getting for Christmas, George? Electric scooter. Gosh, we're going to have a great fun tomorrow in church, aren't we? Anyone else know what they're getting? Or is it a secret? Is it a surprise? You're not sure? Do you know?
A scooter.
Another scooter? We're going to have some races up and down the aisle, aren't we? Darling? A what? Coal. You're getting coal for Christmas. That's an interesting present. You never know what people will get, but Mary and Joseph had the best presents as well. And it's the best present for us as well, that baby Jesus was born in our world. But now the scene changes, because Mary and Joseph had some very surprising visitors. And anyone know who the first people to visit Heath? They weren't the first. Someone came just before that, Anna? The shepherds, that's right, the shepherds. They were living in Bethlehem, up on the hills above Bethlehem. And they were looking after their sheep at night. And it was probably quite cold. They probably having to talk to each other. It's probably a bit boring. And then suddenly, oh hang on, I remember, we've forgotten to sing a song, haven't we? We put the baby Jesus in the manger. perhaps we ought to sing Away in the Manger. What do you reckon? Should we stand and sing Away in the Manger? Maybe the children can just sing the first verse on their own, and then the grown-ups will join in. Is that okay? So the shepherds are there on the hill, and again something amazing happened. I think, is it Eileen's got our third reading for us?
The reading is from Luke chapter 2, verses 8 to 16. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today, in the town of David, a Saviour has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger." Suddenly a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to men on whom his favour rests." When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about." So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby who was lying in the manger.
Thank you, Ollie. So it would have been a really big surprise again for those shepherds. Suddenly the sky was really bright, and there was an angel who gave them some strange news that the Messiah had been born in Bethlehem, and a whole choir of angels then appeared in the sky. So they would have probably been very scared, wouldn't they? Very frightened at first. But when the angels had gone, they decided that they were going to go to Bethlehem. But I think we're going to sing another carol first before we put the shepherds in the crib. It was on a starry night. Do you know this one? I think we sung it last year. Let's stand and sing this one. shepherds because they had a lot of sheep they were looking after, but they wanted to go to Bethlehem. So what do you think? How did they solve that dilemma? What do you reckon, Heath? They brought the sheep with them. They could have brought some of them with them. It could have been a whole flock of sheep coming down the hills, couldn't they, to the stable? So they might have done that. Let's imagine we've got a few more sheep here. We've got 5 more sheep. Maybe they left somebody in charge of some of them and they took some of their sheep with them. And we don't know how many shepherds there were, but we've actually got 5 here. So who's going to put the first shepherd in the stable? Georgie, you haven't had a go. Do you want to put a shepherd in the stable for us? This stable's a bit small, so we've got a sheep there as well. Can you find some room in the stable for that shepherd? There he is, right at the back. Brilliant, thank you. And we've got 4 more to put in the... Well, maybe put them around the side here. Who's going to come and help me? Darling? Olivia around there? And 1 more? Finn? Come on then. There's 4 shepherds. And we've got some sheep. Oh, come on. There we go. Would you like to put a sheep on for me? You put a sheep with the shepherd. I'll leave him out. I think they'll re-squeeze in to put the other 2 sheep on the side. No. There's a refusal on the sheep. Who else would like to put some sheep with the shepherds in? Sophie, come on then. Rosanna, you going to come? Oh, you're going to come with your sheep after that. You put those 2. Put them just with the shepherds outside. Gosh, hope to see you. You're going to put your sheep on the table for us? Wonderful, look at that. Fantastic, there he is. Isn't that great? Ooh, one's going to go there. Sheep stealing in the middle of the night. You're going to help me tell the story then? Where have we got up to? So, the shepherds are there, and it was probably very surprising for Mary and Joseph to have some strange people. Oh, one of the shepherds has fallen over. There he is. To have these strange people they didn't know come to visit the baby. It's okay, Nicky, don't worry, it's fine. So, but that wasn't the end for Mary and Joseph. Because, as Heath said earlier, what did you tell us earlier? Heath, the next people to visit? The wise men. And again, the Bible doesn't tell us how many wise men there were. We think there may have been 3 because there was 3 presents. But there could have actually been more. There could have been 5 or 7 or 12. And they lived in a country a long way away called Persia. And they were suddenly watching the stars. And they saw this very strange star in the sky, and they read the signs, and they knew that that star said a new king was going to be born. But they didn't know where it was. So how were they going to find out the way to Bethlehem?
By following the star.
By following the star. I think I know a song about a star. Anyone know what the song about a star, which we sung last year? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Should we sing that? We'll stay sitting down. Let's sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. To give to this king. Now, does anyone know what presents they would have brought? Let's have a look. Can you tell me one present, Anna? Gold. Heath, what was the second one? Frankincense. And Georgie? Myrrh. That's right. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And they set off on a long journey. It probably took, again, an awful long time as they followed the star all the way to Bethlehem. They probably went over the desert. So it would have been very hot during the day and very cold during the night. And it probably took them a long time. It might be even that Jesus wasn't a baby when they got there. He could have been about 1 or even maybe nearly 2. So he might have just been a bit of a toddler. But anyone know a carol? Right on. Before that, shall we have the reading, the Bible reading? Number 4. That's you, I think, Olivia, isn't it? Tell us all about the king.
Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 to 2 and 7 to 12. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born, King of the Jews? We saw his star in the east and have come to worship him." Then Herod rejoiced secretly and found out from the exact time that the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and make a careful search. As soon as you find him, report to me. He will and I go and worship him." After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen in the east went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed on coming to the house. They saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down to worship him. Then they opened their treasures and presents to him with gifts of gold and incense of frankincense of myrrh, and they wanted a dream not to go back to Herod. They returned to their country by another route.
That's brilliant, Olivia. It's a long reading, wasn't it? Well done. So they followed the star. But how did they know when they'd arrived? Anyone know? Anyone listening to that reading? How do they know when they arrived? The star stopped over the stable. I don't know if this will work. I haven't tried to do this before. That's what. While I'm doing this, shall we sing that song about we three kings of Orient are? And I'll try and get the star on the stable. Let's stand and sing this song. So do you know what? The 3 kings are hidden somewhere towards the back of the church. Now we've got 3 kings, they've all got a beard and they've all got a present. I wonder if you children can find the 3 kings, and when you find them, bring them up and we'll put them in the stable. Have we got them? Well done. Olivia's got the first, has she? Right. Can you get it in the stable at the back? I'm not sure if you'll get in there or not. There's not much room in the stable. I think we'll put him outside here, Heath, maybe. Okay, put him outside there somewhere. Brilliant. So the kings all gave their presents to to Jesus, didn't they? So that is the end of the Christmas story, almost. But just as the kings gave presents, Jesus wants us to give him a present as well. And there's a lovely hymn in the bleak midwinter, which we're going to be singing tonight. And the last verse of that says, "What can I give him, poor as I am? If I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. But what I have I give him, give my heart." And the best present we can give to Jesus is us. It's our lives, it's our hearts. When we decide we want to be Jesus' friend and we want to follow him in our lives. But the wonderful thing about it is when we give Jesus our lives, Jesus gives back to us. He gives us all sorts of lovely gifts as well. Because it's the best way to live your life, living it with Jesus. So we're going to do something a little different now. We're going to sing a song, Silent Night. But in the back few pews, there's some little stars. And if you'd like to get yourself a star, that's just a little symbol of giving your heart to Jesus. And you can put the stars in front. But when you've done that, maybe as a symbol of Jesus giving something to us, if you go behind the table, and either side there's two boxes, you can take one thing from each box as a little present. As we sing, maybe the grown-ups could sing Silent Night as this happens. So find a star and come and put it in the front here and go behind the table. I'll stand this side and we'll sing Silent Night as this happens. At the beginning, wasn't it? We've got all sorts of people there, all sorts of animals in our stable. And that was the most wonderful story our world has ever known, because it meant Jesus came to our world as a little baby, and we can be friends with Jesus. And that's what Christmas is really all about. Not the presents or the tinsel, but it's the fact that Jesus came to our earth, and that's why we celebrate Christmas. So shall we just finish with a final prayer now? Lord Jesus, may our hearts be ready to receive the special gift of your love this Christmas. And then may we be ready to share that special gift with the people we meet day by day. May we know your love in our hearts and in our world this Christmas and always. Amen. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow and that Father Christmas brings you everything you wanted. All those things And if anyone wants to come to church tomorrow at 10 o'clock, bring your toys with you and we'll have a look at them. And there's going to be an awful lot of chocolate in the service tomorrow, just to tell you that. My sermon is all about chocolate.